October 14, 2025. The Caribbean lay still, a sheet of blue stretched between freedom and chaos. 90 nautical miles north of Venezuela, the USS Thomas Hudner sliced through calm waters on routine patrol. 320 sailors stood at their posts, unaware that within minutes, history would erupt from beneath the surface of peace. Inside a Venezuelan command post near Portico, radar screens flickered, then froze. A solid contact appeared, unmistakably American. Tension filled the air as voices collided. Was it intrusion or coincidence? The hesitation shattered under one cold order: fire. The silence of the Caribbean broke, replaced by the roar of engines and fate. 3 Onyx P-800 missiles screamed upward, tearing the morning sky. Each weighed over 6,000 pounds, moving at Mach 2.6 with the fury of 18 tons of TNT. Aboard the Hudner, alarms blared. Red lights strobed across consoles. 4 SM-6 interceptors launched, 2 Onyxes vaporized. But one remained, a silent flash of steel and vengeance. Impact. The hull split like paper. Flames rolled across the bow, and communications died. The destroyer listed, then steadied through the smoke. 3 sailors were killed instantly. 24 more were wounded. 12 systems went offline. The sea fell silent again, but it was the silence that comes right before the storm returns. The distress call raced faster than radio waves. Washington received the signal, and in that instant, the world's course shifted. Because when American blood stains the sea, silence is never the answer. The reply never comes in words. It comes in the language that makes oceans tremble: power. For months, the Caribbean had been a powder keg: blockades, standoffs, narrow passes shadowed by patrols. Venezuela had pushed its maritime borders 180 nautical miles outward, challenging the hemisphere. Washington called it illegal. Caracas called it sovereignty. But the truth was simple. It was provocation, wearing the mask of pride. 4 diplomatic warnings were issued. 4 were ignored. The Thomas Hudner, a $2.2 billion Arleigh Burke destroyer, patrolled vital routes, moving $2.3 billion in weekly U.S. trade. Its radars could spot threats hundreds of miles away. But no system could predict a nation willing to strike without a word. When the missiles launched, diplomacy died. The Phalanx defense guns spun, spitting tungsten at 4,000 rounds a minute. Flares bloomed. Chaff clouded the sky, but the final Onyx came low, sea-skimming and silent. When it struck, it tore through the ship like lightning through glass. At 9 a.m., a distress signal reached the Pentagon. By 9:30, confirmation arrived: a U.S. Navy destroyer had been struck by Venezuelan forces. Not pirates, not an accident, but a declaration without words. From that second on, no water was safe. Inside the White House Situation Room, every screen glowed red. A live feed showed the burning Hudner adrift. President Donald J. Trump entered, flanked by the Joint Chiefs, CIA, and Pentagon brass. No one needed to explain the Western Hemisphere was at war, and hesitation had no seat at that table. Satellite imagery confirmed the launch site: Puerto Cabo Naval Base. 3 signatures, 1 impact, all verified. Then came the words that reshaped policy. They hit first. Now we hit smart. That sentence became doctrine. Minutes later, the blueprint of retaliation began to form. The mission's name: Operation Freedom Thunder. 2 goals: eliminate the network behind the strike and reaffirm absolute freedom of navigation in the Caribbean. Every president faces a defining test. For Trump, this was that moment. As planners finalized the strike, cyber intelligence intercepted a classified Venezuelan transmission. What it revealed froze the Pentagon. Satellite proof exposed a smuggling empire run directly by President Nicolas Maduro, moving weapons, cocaine, and stolen military tech under the Red Cross emblem of humanitarian aid. For years, those vessels slipped into American ports carrying poison and deceit. The same hands that profited from that criminal network had now fired at a U.S. warship. The line between corruption and aggression vanished in smoke and arrogance. The intelligence brief to the president contained one underlined phrase: "This is not provocation. This is organized crime disguised as government." Trump signed the order. At 5:17 p.m., a coded message left Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana: Freedom Thunder active. The storm was now official. Pilots sprinted toward their aircraft, 2 B-52H bombers, 2 F-35 Lightning IIs, and 1 EA-18G Growler. Call signs: Bunny 01 and Bunny 02. Each machine a line of music in an orchestra of thunder. This was not revenge. It was precision wrapped in purpose. As the sun fell over the Gulf of Mexico, engines ignited, painting the sky in streaks of fire. America was moving, and soon the world would understand the true meaning of 2 words: freedom, thunder. Freedom defended not by speeches, but by storms. The B-52Hs rose into the dusk, flying fortresses carrying the weight of resolve. F-35 seconds shadowed them in silence, while the Growler led, built to blind the enemy before they even knew what was coming. No chatter, no lights, just heartbeat and altitude. Destination: Caracas. 35,000 feet above, the strike group refueled mid-air and crossed the Gulf unseen. Below, the Venezuelan coast shimmered silver under moonlight. Above, shadows of thunder drew closer, their silence louder than any declaration. From Puerto La Cruz to Caracas, enemy radars scanned frantically. Then the Growler unleashed full-spectrum warfare, ghost signals flooding screens. Hundreds of phantom aircraft dancing in chaos. Every lock failed. Every echo lied. Through that confusion, the real bombers advanced, quiet, invisible, and inevitable. The bombers closed in massive, deliberate, merciless. F-35 seconds shielded their path while the Growler silenced the sky. No radio, no chatter, only synchronized breaths and steel discipline. The mission was pure arithmetic. Now every second counted, every move rehearsed to perfection. Refueled and silent, the strike package crossed the Caribbean. The moon traced silver across their wings. Below, the Venezuelan coast faded like a memory. In the cockpits, the only sound was the steady hum of engines and the weight of what was about to happen. The EA-18G Growler began its assault. Electronic chaos unleashed. Dozens of fake blips flooded enemy screens. Phantom aircraft danced across radar scopes. Venezuelan operators scrambled to lock on, but every echo was a lie. Through that digital storm, the real bombers slipped through unseen. Every lock attempt failed. Every target dissolved. Then came the whisper through encrypted channels. Target confirmed. Bunny 01 aligned its coordinates, the National Assembly of Caracas, nerve center of the regime. The countdown began, each breath a fuse leading to history. At 35,000 feet, bomb bay doors opened. 5 GBU-31 JDAMs dropped silently through the haze, each 2,000 pounds of guided precision. Morning calm shattered into gravity and fire. Venezuela's defenses were seconds from facing the full weight of American resolve. The first bomb obliterated the assembly's central wing. Concrete vaporized. The second tore into underground bunkers 30 feet below. 2 more detonated in tandem, collapsing steel and fuel lines. A perfect double impact rippled through the capital, an explosion measured in seconds but remembered for generations. Flames rolled into the sky. A 120-foot fireball consumed the skyline. Shock waves shattered windows for miles. The grid failed. Communications went dark and panic swept the city. Dozens wounded. Senior officers dead. The capital of defiance was now burning under its own arrogance. Maduro wasn't inside, but the message reached him all the same. The symbol of his power now lay in ashes. Above, the bombers banked north. No counterfire, no losses. 7 minutes. That's all it took to write a warning across the morning sky. Live feeds confirmed it. Every bomb hit, none missed. It wasn't vengeance, it was precision. When the sun rose over Caracas, the world was changed. The assembly was gone. Smoke clung to the skyline like a shadow that refused to lift. The once defiant capital stood crippled. Power grids collapsed, networks dead, command centers silenced. In a matter of hours, Venezuela's military spine broke. Across the Caribbean, the message was clear: blind arrogance meets blinding force. No missiles fired back, no jets scrambled. Venezuela's defenses were paralyzed. At 1 p.m. Eastern, President Trump addressed the nation steady, cold, and deliberate. The United States did not start this war. His calm tone carried more weight than any threat. Then he added, "But we stopped the threat." Behind him, digital screens displayed DEA maps of smuggling routes and satellite proof of weapon caches under aid warehouses. The attack on the Hudner was no lone act. It was a criminal network's declaration of war. The world reacted instantly. NATO expressed support. 25 nations cut ties with Caracas. Shipping insurance near Venezuelan waters tripled overnight. Markets trembled. Defense stocks soared. A single military strike had just redrawn global alliances. Inside Venezuela, panic erupted. Civilians fled government districts. Hospitals overflowed. Blackouts spread. Propaganda channels replayed old speeches to fill the silence. For the first time, the regime's voice, once loud and defiant, was gone. What began as pride ended in ruin. 72 hours later, the Caribbean was calm again. But it was the calm after a scream. The wreck of the Thomas Hudner stabilized, her flag still flying, a reminder that symbols can endure even when steel breaks. When America is struck, the reply isn't spoken, it thunders. Venezuela gambled with deceit and paid in fire. Freedom Thunder wasn't revenge, it was doctrine. Freedom of navigation is not negotiable. Deterrence is not a bluff. The operation became a textbook of modern warfare, swift, surgical, undeniable. Caracas may rebuild its walls and rewrite its speeches, but the crater will outlast every politician. When warnings go unheard, consequences arrive faster than diplomacy ever can. Analysts called it the future of 21st century combat: electronic deception, stealth precision, zero casualties. Caracas may restore its skyline, but the fracture in its power will echo for decades. Some lessons are written not in ink, but in shockwaves. The sea remembers, the sky remembers, and the world remembers who commands them both. American strength isn't defined by destruction, it's defined by control. Control of air, sea, and future. The storm may have passed, but its echo still rolls across the waves. The final words fall calm yet absolute. A warning measured, precise, undeniable. Was it justice or escalation? Tell us what you believe. Because the next storm may decide not just one nation's fate, but the world's.